looks like we're not having a countdown today, John.
Tyler.
John, I didn't see the countdown on the screen. Did you?
Oh, yeah, it was there.
Oh, geez. All right. All right.
That's all right. I mean, allegedly.
You're the one running.
I mean, we'll find out. I mean, I got it back here, so I can only see so much.
Guys, welcome to Gym Owners Podcast. John and I are your hosts. I'm Tyler. Over there is John.
That's me.
You got to say that is a value. I always forget about this on this show. It is really nice to say your name. We like say who it is, because when people listen, they never really remember if they're new, like what voice is attached to what person. So I'm Tyler. That's John.
I'm John. We're both bald with beards, so you have a very low threshold.
Yeah, you should have been able to hear that by now. The bald beardness. Guys, we want to talk about a thing that a lot of gym owners are doing, and it is not a lot. I would say it's almost all. And I think this stems from the generous nature, the giving nature, the community building stuff that's like in your blood as a gym owner. But you gotta stop giving away free classes, free giveaway weekend stuff, or free class to let somebody come in and start for a lot of reasons.
But Tyler, people love trying shit before they buy it. I mean, at ice cream places, they have the little spoons.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to the ice cream store and tried ice cream and then been like, I don't like any of this, and left?
Well, no, because the reality is I'm not going to end up, my ass ain't going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, if there's going to be time for me, if I got 3 boys, right? 11 and younger, right? Yeah. 11 to 5. So if I've already said ice cream, it's going to be a fucking mania at my house of like, we're going to go get ice cream. I have to guarantee, I got to know without like borderline shadow of a doubt that what I'm about to present to them needs to kick some ass. Because my 5-year-old, he ain't going to have it. Yeah. If he shows up and it's shitty ice cream, or like everything has like a pineapple shoved up its ass because a bunch of hippie fucking weirdos are running the ice cream place, we're going to have a problem. Like, there better be like just chocolate, and it better be good.
Yeah, pistachio and rosemary ice cream. Like, no,
that's exactly it. Yeah, everything doesn't need rosemary in it.
You know, one of the things about this that is interesting too is, so this is the thing a lot of people do, right? Come try a class for free on the weekend, right? Bring a friend. It's kind of like a bring a friend thing that members do, right? So stuff. And that, by the way, isn't inherently bad. I don't think that there's anything wrong that exists. However, are you talking to those people about joining your gym when they come or before they leave? Because I guarantee you people don't. It is a way for people to come hang out in your gym and use your shit, and then they leave. If you're not selling them every time, or trying to sell them every time, or trying to close, or talking to them about maybe what they want or what their schedules would be, or what maybe some of their needs would be, if you're not making an effort to sell them, you're just letting them hang out in your place and use your stuff for free. It's not actually going. People say, "Oh, I do it so people can come in and get a sense of my community and find a way that they like it," and that's great. And then you let them get up, change their shoes, and walk out the fucking door.
Yeah.
So what is this? That's not how this works.
Well, and it needs to be, why are you doing? Like, first, you got to do some honest assessments. Is how long have you been doing the free class concept? Right? Bring a friend. That's fine. But it's not just isolated to like the one free weekend class that you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you have a class that you've been trying to attract new people to, how long have you been doing it? How many members have you gotten while doing it? If it seems relatively unsuccessful, we need to figure out first, okay, then why were you doing it? And the answers that you and I have gotten is people are doing this at an alarming rate because they want more members, right? So, okay, so you want to generate more members. Great. So then we want to generate more people in your gym. How in the hell is anyone going to know that you're running a free class? If there's
it existing doesn't mean people know about it. And that's really important, right?
And we've learned so much over the years with the different groups that we've worked with and that we've been like essentially employees for, is that the one thing we learned very early on is we may think as an organization, we talk about a thing a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, like do you know how much marketing and billboards and social media bullshit exists? Like, if you think you talk about a thing a lot, you don't talk about it at all, because only 1% of it is going to be seen by anyone anyway.
Yeah. So let's not dwell on the problem for too long, right? I don't want to keep poking at the people, but so what can you do to make this not be the absolute worst here? Because this does still sit, like a lot of things, as an effort that you're not putting any effort into. So in the end goal here is like, and that depends. Let's clarify this. This is kind of a free come try our gym thing, right? Not necessarily like our Sunday stuff that internal members can also do for free or something like that. Even though some of them may be some crossover, right? But there's not. So what we're trying to do by that is like everything that we've described. I want people to come. It should be an attractor. Come try for free. Well, how often have you said it? How often have you said it on platforms that your members, the people who aren't already your members, are seeing? How often are you asking your members for referrals to get people to there? Are you asking them regularly in their emails to bring somebody to this thing? And when people do show up, are you trying to sell? Because, by the way, John, the reason you always buy, even when you're sampling stuff at the ice cream store, is because someone's standing there expecting there to be some sort of transaction here. You like one of them? Cool, let's go. Now, the problem most gym owners have...
I'm there because I want ice cream.
Yeah, and people hopefully are there for this thing because they want to join a gym. And so either you let them train and walk out and you don't try to sell them, then you're not doing you or them a service. Or two, you don't offer any real products that are worth a shit anyways. And the problem is you're trying to get them to appeal to your catch-all everything product. And when you go in to try ice cream, you're not going, I want ice cream just in general. You're going, I like this one, I don't like this one, I don't like this one. Well, how many flavors of ice cream does your gym have? Is it still just group fitness? Well, then that might be a problem. That might be why. And this is why you can't just take one of these concepts we talk about and just beat it to death, because it does have to all be integrated. It's really hard to sell somebody off your closing rate, if you're even paying attention, by the way. Are you keeping track of how many people come in? Are you keeping track of how the conversation went when you talk to them? Are you keeping track of how many of them you close? Are you? And if you're not, or if that rate really sucks, it may be about your products. It may be about what they're doing when they're there. It may be that you never had a conversation about what they really want, and you don't offer anything other than a room and a group of people for them to all do the same exercise around.
Yeah, if we stick to the ice cream analogy, it's walking in somewhere to buy ice cream. It's all vanilla, and there's no prices or options on the menu in front of you.
Yeah,
so it's like, what do you guys got?
There's a sample spoon there, and you can get your scoop, and you can turn around and leave before anybody fucking asks. And that's usually what happens with these things.
Right. Now, the one thing, though, is that the reason why I'm not a fan of this model, there's many reasons, but the biggest is that it's the antithesis of what people's normal buying behavior is. Like, you're on the right track that somebody wants to try something before they buy. Like, that's not wrong. But no one is even going to get to your gym without having some form of word of mouth, which means when someone walks in the door because they have heard that it's great, they've seen that it's great, whether it's reviews, whether it's friends, whatever the referral is, that means every difficult part, all of the things, every roadblock that could ever exist in someone's life, they're getting divorced, they are hungover that morning, there was bad traffic, their grandma died. They have fought through every possible roadblock and they've walked through the goddamn door, which means you have an assumed close on your hands that, like you said, Tyler, would you like to just try it? No, motherfucker, they want to buy. That's why they just walked in.
Yeah.
They walked in because they want to buy. And the problem is what this means is that if you're one of these like one or two people workshops of like your gym is just you're the solopreneur, or it's you and your buddy or you and your spouse, that means your time is so valuable. And if you're not selling someone when it's an assumed close, I'm sorry, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, those should be the easiest closes you have, because by the way, I'm gonna guess y'all ain't advertising for this thing. It is somebody coming in off of word of mouth, most likely, because nobody's really. By the way, if you're a fitness center, nobody who's not a member of your gym is paying any attention to your social media at all. So unless you're getting your members to repost stuff like this, nobody's seeing it outside of your space. It's not really how that works. So we can do lots of things for visibility and be seen adjacently, but generally speaking, you're not putting a ton of effort into getting these bodies in, so you're just kind of letting it slide. But the thing about this is also, is the expectation in how this is communicated to them that you should try it to see if it's a fit, so that then we can talk about your targets and how you want to go forward and like what you want to be accomplishing in these next few months with your fitness, or you know what I mean, like what types of things you'd like to do, what type of arrangement would you like to be training in, like what thing, you know what I mean, these are real conversations that people should be expecting to have. And if you've never set the expectation that a sale or an offer is going to be presented, then people go, oh, sweet, I get to just come in and not pay. So if your communication to all these people is come in and don't pay and exercise and then leave, then this isn't even useful, because your ice cream store doesn't say come in, don't pay, and then fucking leave. That's not how that works either. They're going to give you some samples so that you buy some goddamn ice cream. And I guarantee you, what do you think the closure rate is on these types of things? I'm going to guess, just based on the gyms I've talked to and the gyms I've been around, it is not even 1%. I would be very surprised if it's 5. I would be astonished if 1 out of every 20 people that comes in off of your come try us for free thing, like just like come try a thing, I guarantee 1 out of every 20 is being closed or less.
Well, obviously,
if you're even asking.
Well, Tyler, then that just means that whatever the class you got going on is just obviously not the right one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously what it is.
What is it, though? What is it? Is this just a regular class? Is that true? Is it just a big group class? Is it a specialty program? Is it a booty boot camp thing? You know what I mean? There's plenty of those things. Oftentimes people do like an approachable, like kind of fluffy noon 45-minute thing that's kind of a free thing, a boot camp type thing, a very approachable fitness program. But again, sometimes people show up to actually do a thing. And you know what I mean? Like if I'm going to go to a gym that I'm not a member of, my expectation is I'm going to check this out and see if I can like it. And then if I like it, I hope to take the opportunity to become a member. Like nobody is going to this thing hoping that they can just duck out before anyone talks to them, because you don't even want to do that. You don't even want to have that experience. That they're there because they want to join, or somebody who's there wants them to join.
I'm an absolute slut for Mexican food. I'm a dirty whore about Mexican food.
So cowboy, you got
it. Right? Exactly. So when I find a Mexican place that we haven't been to, or a place that I like, the things that I do is I check and see what's the most kick-ass thing that they got.
Yeah.
And there's a thing, which the next time you come, because we didn't get to go, is that there's a thing called the molcajete.
Okay.
Which is this big badass thing that's like almost like the fajita type setup, but it's in this big like bowl that's like from Aztec time that holds like shrimp and steak and all sorts of like amazing shit, and like cactus and like all of this stuff that's shoved in it.
Yeah.
And then the one place that I really like does the molcajete burrito. That's literally a burrito that's like 24 inches long.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. The reason why I'm giving this example is it's the most expensive thing on the menu. But because I'm a slut for Mexican food, if I see molcajete anywhere and it's like $28 for one thing, I'm like, that's what I'll be having, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that if I'm going to go, I want the thing that I know I want, and it's the most badass thing. So when I walk into a Mexican place, I'm not like, and I'm new, it's not like, well, I'm going to try the appetizers, and depending on how the appetizer is, we'll stay or we'll leave. It's like, no, who does that? No one in their goddamn mind does that. So knowing that that is the behavior, and I'm going to pick on you for a minute, you have ran into this personally. Because this was the idea of like, oh, well, then it's obviously the class that we're running.
Yeah.
Whatever the class is that we're doing, obviously it's not working. And it's like, no, it's not. The class you could be doing could be totally kick-ass. But the issue is that if you don't value it enough that you've made it free, it's like, well, shit, nobody's interested.
No.
And you have experienced this firsthand.
Yeah. Well, also, one thing to note, if someone comes in and experiences that class for free once a week, they're gonna have a really hard time choosing to spend a couple $100 to get that 2 more times a week.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Like you're already giving away the fun. Yeah. So on the program side of things, like, what is this class? What could it be? Right? It could be anything. But like anything, I've had programs that I've written that I really like. They work really well, and I've had it for people. I sold it for like cheap, just as to like a guy, here, try this program. Like, here, try this training program. Try this training program, and it's like awesome. It's fun. You've done it. Lots of guys have done it.
Totally.
And I had a friend of ours. I sold it for like, I mean, he did it when I sold it, of course, for like $250. And he's like, oh, this is kind of cool. And he goes, I'm gonna run this in my gym, like the same workouts and stuff. It'll be kind of cool. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's it. And
that's a cool idea.
The truth is, I had never even thought of that. I thought of like some types of specialty programs like weightlifting or strongman or powerlifting or what's the word, like endurance, or, you know what I mean? Those are the domains that I've thought.
Yeah,
I've never thought of a goal specific time frame bound program to be run as a class in a gym. You know, just as a high ticket product, specialty program that we branded and sold. And he's like, oh, I'll give it a try. And he lays a fat ticket price on it. Do I say the number?
So we can, but let's frame it. So something that
I gave away for almost nothing.
Nothing. That therefore actually wasn't, people didn't come and get from you.
No.
Like it was the only reason why you didn't charge any money is because often, and it wasn't for me not trying to get you to sell it. You're just like, no, like no one's going to buy programming. And Tyler, you're not wrong.
No, yeah, programming.
No one's going to buy programming.
But these things were packaged in this way.
Exactly. But if you build it into a high ticket, time bound program in a gym, not selling workouts, but now a program. So he's selling it for
$2,000. 16 people buy right away. $32,000 locked in right away. Done.
Yeah.
12 weeks program. In addition, these people are all already members of the gym. And I was like, give me like $200. It's like, fuck. But the truth is, and by the way, it's probably their most popular high ticket item. People ask about, they run it twice a year now. Same about return next time. He's pulled almost $60,000 off this program this year. And all he's doing is the same thing in a class, with a focus group where this is what we're doing. And by the way, then when somebody comes in to sample your ice cream, this is the chocolate. And that one over there is the vanilla. People come into your place and they're swimming in a sea of boring ass vanilla ice cream. And it's free and they get the fuck out. Okay. You got to come in. And for this type of thing, when it has value, they don't get to try it for free. But maybe they come in and meet you and see the facility and they do something, but you talk about the other things that you have and do. Right.
Well, and every single person, the reason why they ran this twice a year, which we did not advise to do, and he's like, no, we got to run it again, was because every person that did it the first time would shut the fuck up about it.
Yep.
They were just like, oh my God, like these were the results we got. And it was so awesome. So what he did is we then worked with them to build up a proper offer, because there really was only one option. It's like, hey, come do this thing. Wouldn't it be awesome? And then all of these people bought it. So this next time around, we built a proper offer into it, and he sold half the people for the same and made the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And only this time there were supplements built in.
Yeah.
There was a recurring like check-in diagnostic assessment where they got assessed before it started, and then they got assessed after it started, that then allowed you to then upsell people into further programs that could fit whatever needs they had.
And at the end of this moment, at the end of this cycle, the great thing that we've talked about, that resell cadence, is so then they get done with this program and now they go, what's next? And that's what happens is, so now these people bought, spent, got value, loved it. And now they want to buy and spend and get value again, instead of walking in and tasting your vanilla and walking out before you show them anything else that you have to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the invitation to anyone watching this, especially those of you that are watching, because that means you're in the Facebook group, which you can find us at community.hackyourgym.com, especially if you're watching. But if you're just hearing this, the invitation is, if you have a class, or you have something that you're doing for free, reframe that. Reframe whatever those specialty things are you think that make you unique, and say, what if we turn this into a 4-week challenge, a 6-week program, an 8-week program, a 12-week program?
And you don't have to start high ticket if you're afraid.
Not at all.
You get yourself out of the way. You don't have to go $2,000. Some people aren't ready for that ask. By the way, you should be, but some people just aren't ready, and you need to see some $500, $600, $700, $800 deals come through, a bunch of $300 large scales, whatever it is you can do to see how this works. Put yourself in a situation to succeed, because by giving away more stuff for nothing, stuff you do well, especially, by the way, if you're good, what are you doing giving this away for free? If you're doing like a weightlifting thing on Wednesdays that like all your members can come and do weightlifting, but you're like really good at weightlifting and that's why you do it and you're a great weightlifting coach, why is that free? Now, there is a thing we need to make note. If you're a new gym, start with these principles we're talking about. There's no reason to go down the fucking wrong road first. Okay. If you are an existing gym, of course, you can't take your Wednesday weightlifting and just turn it into a paid thing. You need, because like those people are they're just going to not buy. But what you need to do is find another type of thing that fits that same bill. And you just need to start building that culture. The culture of an internal sale, the culture of people wanting to maybe buy another program, the culture has to shift away from everybody living in your catch-all group fitness. And that does take some time and a few different program launches. By the way, we've launched 4 specialty programs with this other business over the course of that same time. All of them did pretty well. But this one, the most expensive one, was the most successful.
And it is the most expensive one that they run. Yeah. But there is a cadence to these things, and we'll go into what has worked for us and worked for our people that are in our Gym Hacking University, that are in our higher level programs, that have had a huge success on. But a little bit of the taste of that is whatever programs you have. So let's use your example, like you said, you have the weightlifting program. Well, if you're going to do, and oftentimes we'll see gyms that have large group classes are part of their cycle of what they do at their gym normally. Well, nobody just trains the same goddamn thing all the time, right? We have phases. So you may have an Olympic lifting phase. You may have a more powerlifting phase, more of a whatever phase. You're going to have a certain group of people that are going to be in your gym. It's a guaranteed percentage of the people that are in your gym that are going to, one, just be happy with the group. But that equal percentage that's down here, there's going to be another group that's equal on the other side of the spectrum that would just love it if you would provide just a little bit more hand-holding, a little bit more value, a little bit more something that's along that same topic. Because, man, it's like, I really dig powerlifting, or I really dig this style, or I really dig strongman, or whatever the thing is that you do. You're like, hey, it would be actually pretty dope if, like, instead of it being like a group of 15, like, what if it was like a group of 5, or what if it was one-on-one?
And we just focus on this one thing, this one narrow scope, and then people are willing to pay for it because they know exactly what it is. They're not buying into a big empty space of fitness.
And ultimately, all we're talking about is taking a group that's large, that you've already programmed for this, right? Yeah. You've already programmed for it. So you already have the programming. It doesn't mean that you have to do now anything different with a smaller group. You have a smaller group that you can provide more attention, more accountability for, customize it a little bit more for them because you have less fucking people to pay attention to in the class. And you now are providing a higher level service and you're not having to sell anything. You now are just giving someone the option to buy something. Ice cream. If there's a waffle cone, I'm fucking buying it. Because I like waffle cones. Like it's one of those things where it's a guaranteed thing. So for people, there's certain people that's like, I like a little bit more one-on-one attention.
Yeah.
But if there's no option, they're not going to be able to buy it.
Yeah. So this is a way to start creating that cadence of some internal programs, and that's what's important to do. So you giving away free stuff is a way for you to cut your own throat as far as that stuff goes, right? You're hamstringing yourself, you're handicapping your business going forward because you've created a culture of everybody gets everything for free. So when first thing you do is start selling other stuff while you close the door on all the other stuff where you're leaking energy out. So find a new thing that you want to do, that you do well, and offer it to people. That's it. So a few ideas to start with and a few criteria. I'm happy to float some of these things people's way, right? One, if you want to have a weightlifting class, let's pretend weightlifting. You got a real good Olympic weightlifting specialist. They're really good. You know that stuff sucks to teach in group classes with people of all sorts of fitness levels. Anybody who tells you, oh, you should be able to, it's really, well, they're not telling you the whole truth, because you're getting a lot of people that are either focusing way too hard on skill and not getting real exercise because their skill is so far behind that you're not really giving them the results that they want unless they're there for weightlifting. Right? But they're not there for weightlifting because you're doing it in group class. So you need to find a way to differentiate. So let's pretend you create just a separate track of people. You do not just do a weightlifting program that's extra per month that has no end date. Again, so let's go. We're going to do 8 weeks weightlifting. It's going to be a whole thing. We're going to just rebuild your snatch, rebuild your clean and jerk. We're going to specialize in this. Boom, boom, boom. 8 weeks of this, 6 weeks, 10, however you want to do it. But it needs to have a start date and an end date. And you start selling that internally. You don't have to advertise extra. You don't have to do anything. Just shoot some emails out to your people. Make sure your coaches are asking everybody. You have a few people who tease it. You got to have people enthusiastic. If you just have these ideas and you send out one email and put your thumb in your ass for the rest of the month, like, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. You do need to try. Just like how you doing a catch-all free thing is not trying, shooting out one email and not actually following up and being enthusiastic and selling. That's not trying either. But you need to have a beginning and an end date. You can do other things with this too. You could do a competitor's track. Every gym has their, quote, elite athletes who are a fucking pain in your ass as a coach. They are. They demand the most attention. They intimidate most of your good new clients in. They kind of jam up your culture by being too cool. And a lot of them still move like shit. And so that should be a thing that costs extra. Meaning that, yes, they can come and just perform great in your group classes. But if you offered what would you call it? Like an Elevate or an Elite program or however you would do it. Premium, maybe it's just a couple times a week. Find ways that you can fulfill it. But have that be exactly what those people want. Fucking kill them with high volume CrossFit Games type shit. Just smash them. Give them everything that you can't give them in a group class. That they think that your programming is holding them back, by the way. You know it. You know these people. Give them exactly what they fucking want and make them pay for it, and they will be happy. They will be stoked. You absolutely can do it. You can do it with your endurance athletes too, your cardio bunnies. You can do this stuff, but the problem is, again, you don't just open up a cardio class and then have it sit forever because nobody's going to fucking come. Offer a program, build it. You get people that like it. You get a few people in. Maybe you don't sell a ton. Maybe you don't put all the eggs in that basket, but you get a few people in. The next time around, more people do it. People talk about it. And then eventually you've figured out how to sell and how to resell. You can do the same thing with all sorts of shit. Bodybuilding style programming. You can do fucking all sorts of stuff. You can do road work. You do strongmans. You can do all sorts of things that you could do. You could build in just a special little path that we make for people and make them pay because they're going to like it better. You can do better for them and they'll definitely appreciate it.
Because you can give them the individual results, you can actually say, hey, you're going to get some fucking results here.
Yeah.
Because if you're worth your salt, if you got good coaches and you're a good coach, and if you're watching this means that you're the folks that are in our community that are working hard at being good at what they do and treat this like a craft and not like a soulless business opportunity, is you're good at what you do. So if you have the opportunity to work with someone focused for 12 weeks, are they going to get results?
Yeah.
You bet your ass they're going to get results.
Yeah.
So
and how many of your like woes as a coach, and maybe this is just me personally, I know a lot of coaches in a lot of gyms over the course of a lot of years, they get to a certain point where they just really get tired of coaching group fitness, the catch-all fitness. Sure. They just don't like it. It's hard. It's tough. You don't feel like you're having a difference. Why not? Because too many people. It lacks specificity. You can't tune into someone's goals and really get them there at the rate that you'd like. The wins are fewer and further between than you'd hope that they would be. Yeah. They're not as the magnitude isn't as great as they could be. And guess what? You feel unappreciated because people aren't invested. So what is the solution?
Right.
Give them what they want with specificity and make them fucking pay. Ask them to pay, offer them to pay, whatever language you preferred. But when you do that, all of these things make sense now. So this is like I should have sold this. This is free. We're giving this one away. All right, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, enjoy.
Just
that
imagine
value.
just imagine what we could do if you pay us. No, exactly. No, that's the idea. What we want to do is it is value, and it is something we want you to take. It is a true invitation.
Yeah.
Take it, run with it, try it, tell us about it. Tyler loves hearing about people that take his ideas that he gives away for free and they make thousands of dollars doing it. It helps. It helps. It's what wakes him up in the morning.
I give away a lot of my time more than I should. It always blows up in my face often. But I tell you what, the difference is when I see somebody who takes the things that I give to them and they actually make it work. I have no gripe with that situation. That's exactly what I was hope would happen. Absolutely. Right. If everybody who knew it was in that program had the actual will to just make themselves successful and sell it and wanted to make that kind of money, it's not like you got to revamp your gym. You're just doing a different thing a couple times a year. You're offering one extra thing that takes one coach. Like this costs almost no money to launch. So just be creative, find something you do well, communicate on the terms like we talk about for products, right? Your product should align with what they want, what they're there to do, what their goals are. Like that's the thing that should be not about you and not about the things that you do great and what your gym has and how hard you work as a coach. Nobody gives a shit. What do they want? I want to do weightlifting off the street because I know what that is. Oh, I'm scared of the barbell stuff. What would I like to do? Well, I just really like to do some treadmills and bikes to get used to it and do a little pump up. Perfect. We got a pump session here with a little cardio that we do for the next 8 weeks. It's great. You need to have some of these paths because when someone comes in to sample your ice cream, don't let them sample it and leave without buying a fucking scoop.
Because how much more excited are you going to be and motivated you're going to be to talk about it, to share, to see what people can do when it's not for free.
Yeah.
Because the fact is, the reason why you can't market it and you don't feel very motivated to do it or whatever the thing is because it's fucking free.
Yeah. You're not getting anything out of it.
And that's also why people aren't coming. So those feelings are mutual. Change the game.
Yeah. Nobody appreciates what you're doing because you're not making them.
You don't appreciate what you're doing. So reframe the thinking. And that's where we need to, if your mindset's not where it is, and we talked about this previously, but you need to get your mind right.
Mm-hmm.
And then if your mind's right, but things aren't working, then do you have the skills that you need to be able to do what you need to do? And if you don't, then it's like, all right, it's time to go. You've talked about it before, Tyler. It's time to go invest, time to go do a seminar. Yeah. It's time to work on my coaching. It's time to do whatever. Yeah. Right. And then if you like, no, this is right. And this is right. Then it's like, then, all right, then you know what it is? It's time to work on who are you affiliating with? What's your network of people? Who are your partners? Who are the people that are helping you be successful and do the things that you want to do? What are your goals? Because if you're with a bunch of fucking duds, with people that just want to bitch or Tyler, this has been a thing that it's been eating away at you lately, which is about just being surrounded by fucking mediocrity and people that are just the cult of goddamn average that are just pulling you down.
Yeah.
You got to make a change.
There's a thing that I've talked about. We do a lot of pitches on the business side of what we do, John and I, and like we had a podcast pitch, a long time ago now. So this is close enough where I can talk about it. This is a perfect example. Like the idea sits where this person could make $20,000 every fucking quarter in a heartbeat if they just do the thing. The market's the perfect fit. I've pieced together everything because my brain just sees solutions, right? So it's like we talk about, like, sometimes I almost can't help myself. So I just see it all, and all paths go through the guy and the project he's doing. So I go and I sit down and say, hey, we should talk. And I just nudge him. I said, this thing would work. And I try to explain it. Well, he doesn't see it. He sees thing A as extra work, and he sees this. And it's like, oh, you don't understand. This thing that will take you a couple hours a week now will make you more money than everything else that you're doing. Why the fuck aren't you listening to me? And then I realized that I didn't charge him for this thing. I was just good guy in the conversation.
Right.
And then I had talked with his other another person that manages a person. And later on, who drug me in again, said, you got to talk to him because I know this is the thing. And so I have this conversation, and it was the same type of deal. And I was like, oh, you're so in your own way, that I had to tell the guy's manager afterwards. I said, listen, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not talking to him again. If I would have charged him $1,000 to have this conversation, it would have been the single most impactful conversation in his financial future in the last year. Absolutely. Because by the way, it's not about the money. It's that then he would have fucking listened, and then he would have done it. But because it's free, the whole thing goes, well, you're not committed to even the direction in which the conversation is going. And so I mean it, guys. I gave you this one. Don't be like that guy, or I'm just going to start charging you for phone calls. I'm going to start. We're going to have to start charging for these types of things. But you can take this, experiment with it, run with it, but understand that, like John always says, people that pay attention. So if you're doing things for clients for free, that's great, but don't make that be the dynamic. Yeah, you can be generous, and you can be generous with your time, but not on programs that you should be doing for money. You know what I mean? Like, you can be a little helpful, give somebody an extra couple minutes afterwards, have a conversation, connect, be compassionate, be a decent fucking human being. But don't be doing the thing that you do for free, because nobody's going to appreciate what you do.
We're not there yet. But do you know what I hear people say about some of the most, it was Hormozi. He said, people that say that money cannot buy you happiness just haven't given enough of it away.
Exactly.
And so the fact of the matter is that there is a fine line between being a martyr and being someone who is generous.
Yeah.
You need to make money and then give it all back. Like, that now gives you the ability.
Yeah, think of how great your gym could be for these people, by the way, if you had an extra $70,000 this year because you just sold a specialty program. You know what I mean? Right. For real. Imagine
what
that.
Could you
do that math in your gym.
What could be the gift that you give to your people? What could be the thing that you could do? What could be, fill in the goddamn blank. But I can tell you right now,
it's a lot better than your Sunday class or your Saturday class or your everybody come for free shit, for sure. So you can do a lot better with that type of money than you can just donating your time that y'all don't got.
Yeah.
John, they can find the community at community.hackyourgym.com. Then go to hackyourgym.com to hack your gym. It's open. Get in there. Go check it out. Contact us if you have any questions, but you can get in and start doing the thing. John's eyes are wide, like, hey, we weren't supposed to announce it. It's open.
That's guys. Okay. You did it last time too, and it was like, oh, that's right. It is. Hey, come in, talk to us. You can find the podcast at podcast.hackyourgym.com.
The whole thing's out there. Everything else will be in the descriptions. You can follow the Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. You follow me at Tyler F. and Stone.
And me at JBanksFL.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, everybody. We will see you soon.